Sunday in the Premier League. That after those 4 games yesterday threw up plenty of storylines as well. Aston Villa, post Steven Gerrard, have beaten Brentford by 4-0, 3 of them in the first 15 minutes of that game. Leeds United losing for the 4th time in a row. They've taken 2 points in the last 24. What a week for Fulham as well. Back-to-back wins for them. 5 wins already this season. A point for Arsenal, the leaders then at Southampton. And Leicester out of the bottom 3. They've not taken a single point on the road all season until today, and they've gone to Molineux and they've won by 4-0. We're going to watch shortly Spurs against the best defence, Newcastle, and of course the Premier League weekend concludes with the Monday Night Football. Bournemouth go to West Ham. So Leicester, big movers at the bottom, and Nottingham Forest, despite beating Liverpool yesterday, go back to the bottom, only on goal difference, locked on 9 points with Wolves and now with Leeds. They've slipped into the relegation zone. All 3 clubs on 9 points. West Ham, of course, play tomorrow. Leicester up to 16th. So Arsenal lead the way, but by 2 points, not the 4 that they'd hoped for from Manchester City. Spurs have the opportunity to go level on points with the champions if they can beat Newcastle. If Newcastle win, they're level on points with Chelsea. Fulham up to 7th, above Liverpool, 5 wins already, the same amount as they got in the entire Premier League season the last time they were in the top flight.
A finish.
We mentioned Ben White there. Let's get a defensive view from Arsenal, and here he is.
Ben, how disappointed are you all with that, especially after the way you started the game?
Yeah, obviously we started well, created loads of chances, should have scored more.
What happened in the second half? Why did you not have the same level of control?
Sloppy in possession, didn't win duels, like the opposite to the first half, and I think that's why the game went the way it did.
Any idea what that's down to? Because that's very un-Arsenal-like, especially at the moment.
Yeah, I think we're only human, and it was tricky.
Tell me about that first 10 minutes, especially and the goal, your part in it. How good was the goal? How pleased were you with your contribution?
Yeah, obviously to be a part of it's amazing, but it's about the team. And
finally, you can buy English football at a very low price. Enjoy Premier League and Champions League full replay matches, as well as analysis shows from Premier League TV, BBC, BT Sports, and Sky Sports. Uncut with full footage. Enjoy weekend reviews, previews, tactical analysis, and more. Join us today at the link in the description below. www.primeshows.net.
the season so.
Yeah, just the 11th time that Arsenal have conceded, and that's denied them all 3 points again, having, as we've touched on, been in control in that first half. But unfortunately, both of your concerns that they hadn't made that count have actually told.
I think it would have been Mikel's concern as well at half-time, because you always remember the game that's just gone. They had a midweek game, but the last Premier League game, you remember how controlled they were against Leeds, and then how it went away from in the second half. Very similar. This time Southampton got the goal. But tomorrow, when he's softened his view on it, he'll say it's a decent point at the end, because they could have lost that game in the end.
They were in front and they were in control. A lovely move as well. And you pointed out Granit Xhaka has been doing this a lot more in this seat.
And you see him, he's kind of inside left with the orange boots on. Gets himself in a great position, and then, as Darren pointed out, it just slows himself in a great position, and then, as Darren pointed out, it just slows down. He doesn't go into the box ahead of everybody else and into the defenders. Partey's position is just holding, and that allows Xhaka just to go, do you know what? There's no danger behind, that's covered, I can just make a run. And as I said, when he comes to his right foot, we didn't expect that, to be honest with you. Absolute rocket scene on the half volley, Darren, didn't he?
Yeah, lovely finish. As I said, the pace is on the cross. All he's got to do is make a good contact with it, and he does that. And his confidence, because he's got a good goal midweek in Europa with his right foot. And again, they're arriving. But I think the fact that he's got Thomas Partey sitting there.
Now, those chances that you both talked about, particularly for Gabriel Jesus, one in each half. We showed one at half-time, and they had one in the second half. Both of these at 1-0, which would have changed the complexion of the game.
Yeah, I think if Arsenal get the second one, it's game over. But again, Odegaard, great play, Ings striking it, because from that range, I mean, it's a really good play. From that range there, if he gets any kind of power on it, he scores. But the fact that it comes off his shin, gets any kind of power on it, he scores. But the fact that it comes off his shin is not a great one. But this is probably the one where I'm thinking, get your shot off. Again, Odegaard is involved, really nice way to pass. He does think, right, maybe he could take one more touch to his left a bit. But by the time he does shift it to his left-hand side, the chances here where he's going through, he just can't get out his feet enough. Foot good once, here where he's going through, he just can't get out his feet enough. Foot good once, stuck under his feet. He can't shift it enough to get a firm contact on it. And as I said, if that one goes in, 2-0, game over.
What about the way Arsenal conceded the equaliser?
Well, it's funny because we talked about Partey's position to help out screening the back four and allowing Xhaka to get a little bit higher up the pitch. And we just see his position when the ball goes in. He gets involved on the right-hand side of the pitch from Southampton. But Arsenal got men back. They allow runners from Southampton. But Arsenal got men back. They allow runners into areas really dangerous. Just look at the position of Partey. He's shielding. He's got Armstrong in his view. But then he goes and wanders and gets involved. Armstrong's run. It's straight. It's not an intelligent run. He's just running. And then Ben White can see him all day long. The second centre-back has got to go, do you know what? I'm in a dangerous position here, right in front of the goal. I have to go towards the dangerous position here, right in front of the goal. I have to go towards the ball. He can play him offside if he's in a decent position, but he's not. He's too deep. And so he has to go with the runner. And Armstrong just, as I said, it's one paced run from the edge of his box to scoring the goal. He doesn't go faster, he doesn't go slower, he just runs once. And that tells me that nobody's seen him coming. Sometimes when you see a runner coming at pace, you can go, right, I've got him, and it takes your eye. But because he ran at one pace, he just kind of wanders into a dangerous area.
No one even engages with him. No one lays a hand on him.
No.
He's got freedom of the whole half. As I said, Partey gets attracted to the left-hand side, but it's just one straight run from Armstrong. No one really engages. I don't think anyone even sees him or even points at him until it's too late. I think Ben White at the very end is like, oh, there's a runner there. But by that time, Premier League football, you're in the box, they're going to finish it off. And Armstrong, to be fair,
unfortunately, we didn't get the win today.
Well, the standards they've set, you
8-0. I can't. He was a little. Yeah, that was a little bit over the top. Not, he's feeling what he's feeling, but I still think that's he's feeling what he's feeling, but I still think that's a decent point at the end of the season when you play like that in the second half. You've got to take it on the chin and go, well, yeah, we didn't play great. Move on to the next one. But he was.
Steven Gerrard
Which one?
Gone. We'll come. Steven Gerrard
Which one?
Gone. We're coming to Fulham in a minute. But we're starting with Villa. Steven Gerrard gone.
Stuart, I imagine that feels like quite a big point, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does actually. It was always going to be a hard game against a good opposition. Not the perfect start for us, and still we had to defend deep and wait for counter-attacks, and that was the rhythm of the game. But to get a point against the great teams, obviously amazing for us.
You mentioned there it was a tough start, wasn't it? At that point, did you think could be in for a long afternoon here? Look, though, the change of shape had an immediate impact after that.
Yeah, we changed the shape quite quickly. And we did sit a little bit deeper to limit their chances. We knew it was a game like that. It's not obviously the way we love to play, but we gave them a bit of respect and knew that on the counter we could be dangerous. So yeah, it was about being patient and trying to get something from the game.
Start, wasn't it? At that point, did you think could be in for a long afternoon here? Look, though, the change of shape had an immediate.
And we did sit a little bit deeper to limit their chances. We knew it was a game like that. It's not obviously the way we love to play, but. We gave them a bit of respect and knew that on the counter we could be. We gave them a bit of respect and knew that on the counter we could be dangerous. So, yeah, it was about being patient and trying to get something from the game, and well defended at the end as well.
Yeah, well, eventually you did. You broke that Arsenal back line. Not too many people have done that this season, especially when they're away from home. To take us through the goal.
I think it was a break down the right, and Moyes done really well to cut inside and. I think we had a few numbers up there, so it was a lovely little slip pass and just tried to take it away from the keeper. So very happy with that first goal.